So I've been sharing with you different ways to engage your employees, and maybe I haven't shared enough as to why. So I want to make my case a little bit with this video on what's happening. Let's take a look at what management is today, kind of the state of the union for companies and management that you may not know, because a lot of times you only know what's immediately around you, and even then you may not really understand what's immediately around you. Did you know that according to the recent studies, 51% of the workforce is looking for a new job? 51% on average. So you walk into an average company on an average day, and over half of the people sitting at their desks are looking to leave. Did you know that only 33% of the people inside of a company, on average, are engaged in what they're doing, that they like or feel a passion about or enjoy or want to do a good job? 33%. That's it. So the other remainder of the people are just kind of coming to work every day, and I think it's about 16% of the people are just completely checked out, and they're walking around the china shop breaking stuff. That's what you got. That's what the average company is facing today. And that 33% number is an average. Let me share something else with you. Companies that have 5,000 or more employees, based on this study, their engagement rate is 29%. Only 29% of people in companies with 5,000 employees or greater are engaged in the work that they do. Those are some scary numbers. And so you see the productivity numbers maybe not being so good. That might be why. And why do I think that's why? Because it's shown that the people in the higher quartile in this study are doing 20% more sales. They have 21% higher profit margins. They've got 10% better customer satisfaction. And those are just in the higher quartile. If you look at the people or the companies that actually got awards based on best practices on employee engagement, they outgrew their competitors by 115%. They doubled what their competitors did. That's what engagement does for you. And not growing there is what not having engaged employees will do for you. See, and you go, well, what are the details of what, why is this happening? Well, it's interesting because you can look at the way that the employees feel about leadership. Right? So only 15% of them goes and believes that whatever leadership is communicating is inspiring them to do something. So in the study, only 15% of people believe that what leadership is saying is inspiring for them to do anything. The rest of the people get the memo and check out. Only 15% of the people think that what the leadership is communicating is something good that impacts them, that they're happy about. That's an interesting number. Did you know that over 20%, or just slightly over 20%, about 25% of employees believe that their managers give them good feedback? Only 30% of them believe they have any say whatsoever in the goals that are set for them. And only 21% of the people believe they can impact whatever goal it is that was put in front of them. There is a tremendous communication gap between leadership and the employees, between managers and the people executing the job, between executives and directors, between directors and management, between management and the front line. There are gaps all the way through that. See, the old ways don't work. Setting up a performance review every X amount of months, that's just not doing it. Simply giving people stuff, is not doing it. Here, have a lawn chair, have a watch. Here, have something else, have some more time off. That's not working. It's not increasing engagement. Giving them stuff isn't increasing engagement. See, what increases engagement is actually engaging them. on a human level, on a one-on-one level. See, we've got to shift from that top-down centric, this is the way it goes mentality, and then form a more team-inclusive, let's work together to do something mentality. The workplace has changed. It's just different now. And that's why a lot of the big older companies are going through a lot of struggles, because they didn't change when all of this changed. That's why these newer startups with these really engaged employees are starting to take over the world. Why? Because you have a team of engaged people. That's what they're going to do. So what can you do about it? You're sitting here, you're listening to these numbers, and you're going, well, you know, that I am probably somewhere around average. Maybe I'm slightly above average. But most people are going to sit somewhere around that average line. The first thing that you got to do is commit to engaging your employees. And don't mean just from the lowest levels, from the highest levels. Say, look, we are going to make a conscious effort, invest and engage our employees. We're going to roll out a program that is going to create better engagement and better communication. We're going to close those gaps. I don't want my employees, only 20-something% of them saying I get meaningful feedback from my management. I want 60, 70, 80% of my people going, yes, my management gives me good feedback that helps me. I don't want 30% of my employees to say that they have an ability to affect their goal. I want 70, 80% of my employees to say, yes, this is, I help in the construction of these goals and I'm aligned to what we want to do. I don't want only 15% of my employees to say that what the company does inspires them. I want 70, 80% of my people to go, yes, the vision the company has inspires me to do a good job. See, engagement comes all the way from the top and then it layers down. And of course, the biggest impact is their immediate manager. But if it doesn't have the support all the way from the top down, this doesn't work. So you have to have that, well, it can, but it's limited results. You need to come from the top and say, yes, we're going to do this in our company. We're going to create engagement. We're going to change the way that we go about things to be able to create this engagement, right? That's the first thing that you have to do. The second thing that you have to do when you're rolling this out is managers are becoming coaches. Because see, people want a connection. They want to build trust. They want that connection. That's what creates engagement, is that connection. That's where we are today with people. And we're not getting that in the workplace. Only 3 in 10 in this survey said that they have friends at work. 3 in 10. And that came from that whole culture that we used to say, just leave your problems at home and, this is your work life and this is your other life and then don't mix those two. And that's baloney. This is their life. It's their life, period. They're both part of their life. If you don't have any friends at work, then there's a problem. Only 3 out of 10 people said that anybody at work has helped them grow. See, we need to change those numbers. And to change those numbers, you have to get your frontline managers to understand that they have to coach. They have to coach. They have to get the feedback. They have to be able to establish the expectations and hold them accountable. But coaching is a different process than just managing. So you're not directing. Like a director. You're not a director. You're a coach in chief. Because what your goal is not to tell people what to do. Your goal is to inspire them to do. It's a different way of going about it. Your conversations with them change. You're not spending all your time talking. You're spending most of your time listening. And then you're working with them to get to whatever goal it is that they need to set, that needs to be set, that's aligned to the organization. You're having a coaching session with each one of your employees, and you're doing it often. And you're also bringing them into group coaching sessions to where you're trying to elicit the feedback and then do something with that feedback so they are engaged with what you are doing. If you don't know how to do it, that's fine. Most people don't. I mean, the world's changed. That's why you have companies like mine. That's what we do. If you're looking to get out of the middle of the pack, if you're looking to increase your sales, if you're looking to increase your growth, if you're looking to stop the bleeding, give us a call. We'll be happy to sit down and talk with you, see where you believe your main pain points are. We'll conduct an internal survey, identify the gaps that you have, and come in with a program that is going to create the change that is needed. We'll work with you hand in hand and just get it done. We'll train the people. We'll teach them how to coach. We'll show them how to engage and interact. We'll even start them off with a list of questions and take them through that entire journey, because it's going to be a little bit bumpy. This is a change, and it will be a change for a lot of your managers. So it'll be a little bit bumpy. But here's the good news. Even if we fail a little bit along the way, it's okay, because what you're doing isn't working now. So this will eventually work, and it will be great. So we need to take those steps to be able to get your organization to where it needs to be. And obviously, if you don't, those who do are going to start taking over that market. So let's not give up that market. Let's work together. Let's create the engaged culture that you need. Let's get you in the top quartile of engagement in the industry, in the American industry, and help you get that growth in your company that you're looking for.